morning, everyone, and very welcome to our first quality talk. My name is Peter Swan, and with me I have my colleague Mika Salonoja, and together we will be talking about today's quality subject, which is documents and training. So the agenda of this quality talk is the following. I will start with an introduction to introduce you to what we are going to tell you and talk about. And after that, we'll go into the main topics of today, and we'll look at GXP document and record management and SOPs, in other words, standard operating procedures, how you can create an SOP and manage the change of it. And after that, we'll look at how you can automate the document learning. And in the end, there will be a summary and a QA session, however, a short one. And during the presentation, you can also write in questions to us, and we will try to address those in the Q&A session. And if you don't have time, we will get back to you later. So then off we go. Just to start with, I would like to introduce you to the platform we are using. We are using an information management platform for our quality implementations, and in this quality talk we will be basing all the demos on the same platform. And as it is an ECM platform, it can be used for many different areas, and here you see a few examples of these areas. However, today the focus is, as we have said, on quality, so we will only focus on the quality and compliance area and a small part of it today. And for that, we have what we call Columbus QMS, which is our configuration for the quality and compliance area. And I have here listed the use cases we currently have in Columbus QMS. So that is to start with document and record management, of course. And there is pre-configured tools to handle your standard operating procedures and other quality documents and how to control them. There is a tool for automated document learning and auditing as well, also risk management, and there are tools for deviation control and corrective and preventive actions. There is also possibilities to do system validation, and by system validation here we mean to validate IT systems. There are tools you can use for graphically displaying information like process maps, and there are tools for supplier qualification and requalification, of course. And you can also use this Columbus QMS for equipment databases to do, for instance, equipment maintenance control. And as it is a platform, much more via configuration. So it is a good thing to ask us if you have some cases which are not listed here. Then you can ask us and we can give you an idea how that could be implemented in Columbus QMS. So, however, today we will be focusing on the three first ones, as I've said. And in a broader context, this is only the first quality talk in a program of at least 5. And we will continue in June. On June the 22nd, we will be talking about deviations and corrective and preventive actions. And after the summer holidays, we will continue with risk management. In August and in September, we will be talking about auditing, and in October, system validation. And it is also quite likely that we will continue with other topics after the October session. So moreover to today's subject then, today, as I've said, we will be talking about document management and quality documents and how you can ensure that your staff is trained on these documents. So the point of today's agenda is we will start with the basics, and we will show you a very simple document, how very simple document record handling can be done in Columbus QMS. We will give you a more advanced example to create a GXP document with e-signature. And the main topic of today is to show you the full life cycle of an SOP, of a standard operating procedure. And at the end, we will talk about how you can ensure that your staff is trained and that they have understood and learned what we have in these SOP documents. So then over to you, Mika.
All right, thank you, Peter, and good morning, everybody. My name is Mika Salonoja, and next we will run the actual demo, show this live. We will leave PowerPoint slides behind and actually look at the real deal. The first two demo cases here really are about setting the stage and then concentrate on the actual topic. So can you please confirm that you can see the Columbus QMS home screen, something orange?
Yes, we can see it.
All right, thank you. Okay, so let's start. We'll set the stage with some very simple cases. First, the Columbus QMS is based on mFiles technology, and mFiles technology is metadata based. It's used by over 10,000 businesses globally. And what the metadata based means, it lacks traditional folders. So it's not like your SharePoint or Teams or a shared drive or the C drive on your laptop or Google Docs or OneDrive. It's metadata based. So as a demo case, let's go and look at a supplier company. I'm going into a view called Content by Supplier. So here we have our supplier companies, the ones that we are using now in this imaginary company. And I'm picking a one called Power Electronic Inc. So let's see what we have in store for this supplier company now. Here are the properties of the company itself. We are seeing that it's pending qualification, so we need to do some work in order to get this supplier qualified. So far, we have initiated a supplier audit or supplier assessment, if you will, initial supplier qualification. This is an ongoing activity. They have also delivered some equipment for us, and we have also recorded a contact person called Caroline Smith that works for Power Electronic, but no documents in sight. Let's fix that. I'll go to my just my home screen or desktop, and here I have this random PDF document sitting on my desktop. I want to actually put this in the QMS and associate with the supplier company in question. And to do that, I'll right-click the document and I'll pick the QMS demo vault. And now comes the big idea. I will not pick a folder where I want to store this document. I'm only telling the system what this is. This is not yet the SOP. This is an audit attachment. I want to associate it with this audit number 108 supplier assessment, provide that this is a report from supplier. So this collection of metadata tells me that it's an audit attachment. It relates to this specific audit and this supplier company. And now I'll just create the document. And I'm done. I have created the first document, or in this case, perhaps record. There's not much I plan actually to do with this document. So here is now my supplier document 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stored in the system. But the metadata architecture means that I can go to a different part of the system from audits. I want to look at audits by year. So we have some audits for 2019, 2020, 2021. Let's look at 2021. And here is the supplier assessment in question. And the same document can be found here. So this is the big idea of the metadata architecture. The same document shows up in several places depending on what it's associated with. If you have a project document that also is about a specific product, you can find it through both. If you have an SOP that relates to a production line and a product, you can find it through looking documents by location and documents by product. We are not locking document in a single location. So let's grab some more. I'll just open a random Windows folder with some documents, and I'll grab them all into this view. Also use the same class audit attachment and just create all these records in the system. This is the simplest possible document and record handling. We are not planning to do any proper version control yet. We are not putting any big workflows on electronic or digital signatures yet. I can provide some comments on these documents so I can modify them. If I attempt to delete the document, I will get a friendly error message. I can edit the document, I can create new ones, but once there, I can't delete them. So you could argue that this is like a very simple records management. We are keeping the full audit trail with these documents, even this simple. I can also go to my Outlook, look at my emails, and here I have an email from Joachim. I could grab some of these attachments, just save the attachment as a document to my QMS system. Or what if I want to save the email itself with all its attachments? Even simpler, I'll just drag and drop the email from Outlook to the system. I'm still using the same document class, audit attachment, nice and simple. And now we have the email with all its attachment stored in the system. A bit slow, are we? There we go. And as said before, if I go back to look this from not an audit point of view, I'm not interested in the details of that particular audit. I want to look at everything we have for this supplier in question, Power Electronic Inc. So here is the supplier company. And here are basically all the same documents and records. So I can find the same content through different logic. I can also drill down from any of these documents to see that, okay, it relates to this audit. I can continue drilling down and I can see all the other documents for the same audit. So there are so many ways you can find the content through the metadata architecture. And then, of course, on top of these, we have excellent search capabilities. Okay, but that was the demo case number 1. We just store existing documents, no SOP management yet inside. Now let's take it to the next level and create the first document where we actually use some like GXP, like a life science style workflow. So I will do a very simple case. I will create a new document. In this case, I will choose a document class called supplier document. Sorry. I could start from one of the templates available here. The system immediately suggests that, okay, supplier document, we have these templates available for you. But for this simple demo, I will start from an empty Word document. I know in real life you never do that, but I want to give a nice and simple demo. I'll simply call this demo example. Relates to supplier of power electronic. Now I need to provide some more metadata. I need to pick an author, and I have the released as PDF already checked on the metadata card of this document. In this case, I will pick myself as an author. And notice it is a drop-down menu, but I don't even have to open the menu. I'll just start typing my name, and that's how I select the author. I will hit create. And the system throws me an empty Word document. So this relates to supplier. And here I will go to this mFiles specific ribbon. We have a deep Office integration that allows us to do many things within Word documents, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook. Content here. And now I have the simplest possible one-page Word document. I will save and check in. And now I have this document. I can now continue authoring. So this is not just for getting documents approved or documents getting published or records being archived. This is also my daily tool for authoring and collaboration with my colleagues. And when I'm done, I'm happy with the document, I'll state its content ready. And it's now assigned to me to approve the document with my electronic signature. And this gives me a perfect point to introduce another big idea of the Columbus QMS and the underlying mFiles platform. We have something called assignment list. So every user in the system has a flat to-do list. Everything is now expected from me in order to get things done on time and stay in compliance. So let's take a look at what's on my to-do list right now. There are some documents that I need some attention from me. There are some corrective actions. We're not going to look at those in this demo. Look for our future sessions. There's some non-conformances, customer complaints, audit findings, screening for my attention, etc. So there's a bunch of things that I need to do. But now in this case, what I'm interested in is this demo example document. It's assigned to me because I have to approve the document as an author. So now comes the first electronic signature in this demo. This is a Part 11 compliant electronic signature. It comes with the system. You don't need any other tool. Like, this is not DocuSign or Adobe Sign or anything. This is not digital signing, but electronic signing. Please let us know if the difference between two is fuzzy. And this is great for your in-house use. You can sign SOPs, all kinds of production records, but this really isn't good for making legally binding documents, and this isn't great for having, say, your external suppliers sign documents. For those, we would recommend digital signing, which we can also use in these workflows. But this is the nice and simple electronic signing. So I will sign this document with my electronic password and hit the sign button. And notice when I do that, it vanishes from my to-do list. It's the demo example no longer calls for any action from me. Many other items still remain on my to-do list. So let's go back to the supplier view. And now here is the demo example document now. First thing you notice, it is now a PDF document. We have a system allocated document number 861. This is approved version 1, or some people say major version 1, or revision 1, depending what terminology you prefer to use. Let's open the document for viewing. So yes, it is now a PDF. You also notice we have added some stamping here in the left margin. It says supplier document demo example approved 2021-05-12, so approved today. And let's scroll down. Here we have the system generated signature page. So we manifest the electronic signatures on the human readable printable document. And this is the very simple GXP demo case. Let's assume we found out that actually this document wasn't so great, so we need to update that. To do that, I'll just route for updates. Notice it becomes a Word document again. It becomes editable. In fact, I can check if this is a bit of a sensitive document. I can click down here and ask the system, who else besides me can see the document? Who else besides me could edit the document? So let's ask, and the system will tell me that actually only me can edit the document, and this group of people can view the document, view only. So this is how the automatic permissions show themselves. You can ask yourself from any document or any other piece of information what your permissions are right now. So let's check out the document again. Make some updates. And now the document looks much better. It's time to approve it again. So I will state, okay, we're content ready again. And provide my approve author signature again. In this simple workflow, there is no mandatory review or anything. Remember, we are still setting the stage for the big SOP demo case. It makes it easier to follow the actual demo that starts right after this one. Okay, so now we have some PDF processing going on. That's what the stop sign here tells me, that the document is being processed on the server, and we are done. So now we have the updated document. I also got an email notification. Now let's see what that looks like. It says I got an assignment to actually complete the document I just did. I was so fast that the email came after I've already done the job, basically. And this is now the approved version 2 of the document 861. And if I now look at the audit trail or version history of this document, I can see every version there is, including the previous approved versions. In this workflow, you always see the latest version. Every draft version, minor version, everything is stored in the audit trail, and you see the latest version at all times. And if you have worked in SOP management, you immediately recognize that this kind of workflow behavior is too simple for SOP handling. While you are working on major version 2 of your SOP, you can't hide the currently effective version 1 in the version history. But for many other documents like memos, audit reports, production documents, this simple workflow is just the ticket, we think. And that completes the demo case number 2. And now the stage is set for the actual creation of an SOP. So let's go back to home. Now, depending on how regulated a business you are in, you may have different ideas around what the change management in quality documents means. Do you need to create a separate change request for every new document and every change to an existing document? Perhaps you do, perhaps you don't. In Columbus QMS, we support both approaches. It's simply a matter of configuration of what changes you can start without a change request. In this demo, I will create the document through a change request process and then show how we can update or revise the document without a change request. So I will create a change request. We have some different classes of change requests. And of course, one I want to do now is request a new control document. Like I said, if you work in, say, food industry or one of those mid-regulated businesses, you wouldn't need this at all. You would just start from a template or store a draft version in the system and off you go. But if you are in highly regulated business, you would need something like this. So let's start with a new control document request. Target class is SOP. This relates to manufacturing process. We need a document called webinar demo 1, 2, 3. I'll just call it webinar demo. That is the awesome name of my demo SOP. Reason or justification, we are doing this for the Columbus QMS talk. And that is my change request. So here is the newly created CR943. And this is now assigned to the quality managers for review. And conveniently, in this demo vault, I can hold all the hats myself. So I will approve this change. I will approve the change request. So the signature is the same. Note that in Columbus QMS, we can sign electronically almost anything. It doesn't have to be a document. It can also be a change request. It could be a task, an assignment, anything like that. And now it's approved. Now I will open this Power User menu hidden on the left. And when I select the CR, I have now the Create Control Document Action button here. I can also right-click or context menu for the CR, and I will see the same menu action there as well. And now the system opens the new document dialog. So now I will actually start from a template. The SOP template itself is a version controlled document. And since this has been revised many times over years, we are already at version 19 in this imaginary demo company. To pick the template, I'll just double click on it. And now we have the document dialog. I will pick myself as the responsible person. Language is English. For the demo purposes, I'll state that effective date is today. In real life, this never works as such. You need some time to, of course, create the document, preview, sign, and once published, you need a few weeks to train people. But for the sake of the demo, I'll make it effective immediately. I will also choose myself as the author, the reviewer, and approver. I will only have one of each, and I hold every hat myself. In real life, this is typically not allowed. You can't review your own document, but again, this is a demo simplification. In actual systems, we have validation rules against precisely this. And now I will hit the create. And now the system throws me the word template. And now you can see the Office plugin busy at work. My template is already partially filled. It says Webinar demo. It says manufacturing, responsible person, major version 1. That's what we are working towards. So I can start authoring immediately. Purpose of this doc, to give a nice demo during the webinar. And let's actually take the rest of the document away. So once again, we have the simplest possible document. And now in this recent view, let's wait for that to be checked in. So now we are also enforcing a naming convention. We have manufacturing SOP 862 webinar demo version 1. I will now switch to a different view where it's easier to see everything about this document. Essentially, an SOP is more than a document. It's a collection of things that work together to form the big quality documents. I'm looking here at documents by process. I could also group them, say, by site, by year, using the metadata architecture again. But this case, I'm looking at all our manufacturing documents. Seems we have 4. And one is called the webinar demo. That's what we are working now. Let's go there. So here we have the draft document. And now the actual authoring of this document is just like you would work on a daily basis, even if you just store the document on Teams or even locally on your laptop. You just the difference is that you check out the document before you start. That makes sure that only one person at the time works on the document. You can also co-author, meaning several people can work the document at once. Let us know if that is something you are interested in. Final content here. And now we have our imaginary super short SOP. And now it's time to send that for review. And now it's assigned to all the reviewers. And in this case, that is only me. So we are trying to save some time here. And the review can mean many things, but the specific things I want to highlight is that the Columbus QMS comes with built-in annotation feature, which is great for document control. So instead of actually people modifying the document itself, we can add an annotation layer on top of the document without modifying the document in any way. People can even they can annotate documents already published, effective documents, to highlight an issue, and they need no edit rights whatsoever. So let's do some agree on this one. Please modify this. So I'm now annotating the document, saving my annotations, and then claiming that my review task is completed, and I can also provide a comment. Looks fine by me. And now the document is in its review closed state. If you had 10 people review the document, you would see 10 different annotations under the document. You can switch them on and off individually, or you can put them all on. You can print an annotated copy of the document to see what people have been thinking about your document. In this case, I'm happy with the result, so I'll route this for approval. And again, this is a demo simplification. It only requires one signature to release the SOP. But note, now the actual workflow behaves differently than in my previous oversimplified example. Let's refresh. And wait for the processing to finish. So now the actual document has been released. It's read-only, available now, and the system has generated a separate publishing copy. So we didn't turn the Word version into a PDF version. Instead, we created a separate publishing copy. And this publishing copy can be brought to everybody in so many different ways. We're going to look at those in just a minute. And the reason why we are doing this is that now I can start let's assume a year has passed and we need to update this document. So I'll route it for updates. So now we have the draft version 2. So we are updating this SOP, and while we are doing that, the effective revision 1 or major version 1 stays in use. This is the webinar demo document with the same electronic signature page with only one signature in this case. So now I would once again check out the document. I'm simulating weeks and weeks of work, but I'm sure this is familiar to you. So I'm collaborating with my colleagues, and now we have the updated document is done. And once again, I'll choose the effective date to be today, just to show you how we do this. And also, I will not do a review at all. I will bypass the review and just send it directly for approval signatures and approve the document. So now we are already releasing major version 2 or revision 2 of the SOP 862 webinar demo. Here we go. It's a bit slow, are we? Here we go. So let's look at what we have now. Here is now the currently effective version 2, revision 2 that you are using now. Here is the now retired major version 1. We have a big red watermark across it, and permission-wise, this isn't even visible to everyone. Let's create yet another version quickly, which sets the stage for the learning part. So I will once again route for updates. So we are once again waiting. Let's assume a year has passed again. More updates here. And now it's time to release the major version 3. And notice how I'm not moving the document anywhere from Columbus QMS. This truly is actual digitalization. We are not using moving document to a separate signing solution. We're doing everything within the boundaries of this single solution. And now I will set the effective date to be June 22nd. And so we are giving ourselves a few weeks time to actually learn this document and approve major versions 3. So now the effective date is not today, the effective date is in the future. And this is, of course, how things typically work in life sciences. Because before a new process goes effective, you need evidence that people have been trained or that people have read the document themselves. So basically, all you see here in this view collectively is the SOP 862. And let's add one final thing to go into the learning part, which is the last part of this demo. So now I'm creating a learning rule. And this is something very specific to Columbus QMS and InFAST platform. Basically, I'm telling the system that SOP 862 is not just any old document, it is a quality critical document that we need training evidence for. This is vital for all, that is the reason. And now I'm telling the system who needs to learn. So I'm asking the system to find in my company the people who need to check this document. I can look at people in certain site, people working with certain projects, people with certain job role, or I can choose the mandatory for all if this is an umbrella document that everyone needs to be aware of. For the sake of the demo, I will do that. I will give people 4 weeks time to actually complete the assignment and create the learning rule. Here we go, and enable that. So one last time, let's see what are the components now of this document. We have the actual document or the authoring copy, Word version is here. We have 3 publishing copies. One is retired, one is effective right now, and one is available for learning. It will become effective in June, and it will happen automatically on that effective date. We have the initial change request now in change task completed state because, yes, the document has definitely been approved and published. We have the learning rule that will start generating training assignments to matching personnel. And in this case, the matching was everybody. Finally, we have a periodic review task that mandates that this document has to be reviewed periodically. If we take a look at the last one, this is also part of the good practice of document control. This task will be assigned to me on 13th of March next year, and the deadline is a year from now. So I will get the assignment. I will get the email notification that, hey, it's time to review the manufacturing SOP 862. And if the document is fine, no updates needed, I can just record that, and we have auditable evidence that the document was reviewed, even if the document required no updates whatsoever. And this is the for learning version, the version 3. And if I now drill down from this document, here is the result of the learning rule. So far, the system has found 14 people. So looks like this is a fairly small imaginary company. People who need to learn this document. So I will now spend a few minutes on the demo, on the training part of this demo. Let's assume let's first look at my own assignment list. I was here before, and now I have some new items on my to-do list here. I have training assignments to read the SOP 862. I can drill down from the training assignment to find the document itself. So I could read this on my own. And so once I've done that, I will state that it's read and understood. So now going back to the document in question, if you are a quality manager, you are interested, okay, so how are we doing with the training of this document? And you can see that, well, not great. Only one person has done something. Everything else is still a pending assignment. We might look into this in more detail in upcoming webinars. We can organize a training session to get everybody trained. The people here that need to read this document, they never need to log into the system themselves if we actually provide a classroom training. But the very last thing I will do in this demo is the learning rules will generate matching personnel, so training assignments to matching personnel, but it also works the other way around. If you have a new person or person's role changes, it will create new assignments for that person as well. So let's assume in this new company, a new employee starts. So Harriet Anderson, email, here, job title, specialist, operations department. She is a validation specialist. She is based in Sweden. And we have ourselves a new employee. And notice this new person, Harriet Anderson, she doesn't even have a user account. She's not a QMS user, but she is a current employee. So let's see. Let's give it a sec. And all right. This is what the training module in the Columbus QMS has already created for her. If she logs in herself in the system, one day she will find all these on her to-do list. Based on her HR data, this is the training to-do list for her. It might also include some mandatory courses, but this demo session is mainly about the documents, so let's only talk about them. And among the many things that Harriet should do is also check the SOP, where is the, so many things here. I guess it's still generating some of the assignments in the background. Let's see. Yeah, it's still creating those. So now among the to-do list there's actually 15 things she needs to do. Poor Harriet. And among them, she needs to check these two versions, both the currently effective one and the future effective one of the webinar demo document I created earlier. And how these pending assignments can turn into actual current records is either she reads them themselves and provides a self-learning confirmation, or we provide a training for her. So the very last thing in this demo is in just a minute, I will provide a training event. And that's how you provide training evidence for people who are not QMS hands-on users themselves. So let's create a new training event that we will organize today. We have a course called SOP Course 101. Your trainer is once again me. Training is held today. We are going to train in this session these documents. So basically, every control document in the system can be used as a course material as is. And one of the participants in this event indeed was Harriet Andersson. Also, Joachim Jannefelt was there. Thomas Albertsen was there. So you just handpick the people, you handpick the documents for your training events. And sorry, I'm looking at the clock and I'm worried it gets a bit busy. Hope you guys can follow. So let's assume the training is now held. I've stored all the records about this training, and now I will provide a trainer's signature. I'm stating that all the people were there and all the documents associated with the training event have now been learned by the audience. And now in the background, many useful things start to happen. Let's go and look at how things look for our new employee, Harriet Andersson. So we go to Employee Records, Operations, so we can see that Harriet has taken one training, one course. She holds a course record for that training. We can also see that now she holds quite a few learned and valid document learning records, not because she logged onto the system herself, but because she was trained. So the training event, how we connect the learned documents with the people who have been trained. And finally, the system has generated a course certificate for Harriet Andersson. So we have a nice PDF certificate that says Harriet Andersson has participated in SOP Course 101, instructed by me today, my electronic signature again. And on page 2, we actually list the documents that now she's trained on, including the webinar demo 1 effective and the webinar demo 3 for learning. And that, my friends, was the last thing I planned to show. So let's do now basically like a closing slide. What we hoped we presented you during this demo. We have a full document lifecycle in a single system. We are not moving files and documents between systems manually or automatically or through integration. We are not attaching documents, draft versions to emails and sending them around. We have a full audit trail in one place. Metadata architecture prevents content chaos. We have full GXP GAMP 21 CFR Part compliance. You have to go through the formal validation to reach that, but that's not really a headache. It's more like an administrative thing to show that. We have several publishing options: Windows Desktop, web browser, mobile apps for phones and tablets. I will show the mobile app just in a second when we go into questions. We also can publish these to SharePoint and Teams. We are not covering that today. Let us know if you're interested. We combine document control with seamless document learning, and we seamlessly combine self-learning by train-by-trainer activities. And now I guess it's time to go into questions. While we're going there, let me do the scary bit of this demo and actually show how what I just did would look on the mobile app. Here we go. Hope you can see that. So this is my phone. It's an Android phone. I will open the mFiles app, and I have now some assignments. I can check them on my phone. I have an assignment on my phone that says, please learn this control document. So let's actually go and open the document in question. So now this is the document on my phone. Using a phone for this purpose is perhaps not very practical, but this is great for if you have a tablet-sized device, and it's great to just check your assignments. And once I've read the document, I can state on my phone that the document is read and understood. And this requires an electronic signature. I can sign anything also on my smartphone, an iPhone, Android phone, or a tablet-sized device, iPad, Android tablet. And now my assignment list is refreshed to have only one thing. And naturally, I could browse the documents on my phone. I can go effective documents by process, manufacturing, and I will see the webinar demo quite easily here as well. Or I can use a simplified web publishing. This is like a simplified web access portal for document consumers. So again, I can go just using any web browser. I can go and look at the same documents again. So for example, here we have the document I created earlier in this demo. You can open it in nice full screen reading mode. So this is a nice and simple publishing option for the end users. And I guess we are really about the end point of this demo. Apologies for taking so close. I hope we have a few minutes for if the audience has questions. So please.
Right. Thank you very much, Mika, for your demo. Now, do we have any questions from the audience? I cannot see any questions right now, unless you, Ellen, can see some questions.
No, there's no questions.
Okay, then I think we can end this quality talk. And as I said in the beginning, if you have any questions, feel free to contact us later after this webinar as well. So yes, thank you very much to all the attendees and to Mika for doing the demo stuff here. And we hope to see you on future quality talks also. Thank you. Bye.
Yep, thanks. Thanks for taking the time. Goodbye.